I think we are ready to start. I'd like to welcome our dear donor representatives, dear representatives of partner governments that will be speaking today. We have also representatives of entities already implementing NSPs or applying for funding with the NAMA facility. I'd also like to welcome my TSU colleagues in Berlin, who cannot be here today, but who are watching this live stream as a lot of other people. Ladies and gentlemen, from Sharm el-Sheikh, I would like to welcome you to our NAMA facility side event at COP27. My name is Søren David. I'm the head of the technical support unit. We are based in Berlin, and with a team of some 15 colleagues, we are managing the NAMA facility. I would like to start by introducing the dear colleagues we have on the stage already right now. First and foremost, there is Kate Hughes. She is a Director for International Climate Finance at the UK Department for Business, Energy and Industrial Strategy base. And I think she's probably the longest serving person on the NAMA facility we have in the room. She has been with the NAMA facility in various positions for a long time. And we are quite grateful that we can be here today at the UK Pavilion, where we are hosted for this side event. So thanks very much for having us, Kate. Then we have Shirish Sinha. He is climate and board representative of CIF, the Children's Investment Fund Foundation. It is the latest donor that joined the NAMA facility, and we have been actually talking and working together for more than 2 years now. And it's the first time that we actually have the chance to meet, so I'm very glad that it has come to that occasion finally. So thanks very much for coming. Later on, we will be joined by a representative from the German government, and I will introduce him then separately. This feels a bit like a family gathering. I think I know like 85% of the persons in the room. It's good to see familiar faces from Mozambique and Namibia and more Mozambique and more Namibia and Honduras and Egypt, of course, and Nepal and Mongolia. So thanks very much all for joining, and I hope that the live streaming is also working so that people are looking on from afar. Today we've come together to celebrate the facility's achievements to date and announce an evolutionary step on its future direction. When I listened to the presidential speeches on the first day of the COP, I've heard a lot about implementation and about ambitious but realistic actions. And I felt for most of the time, well, we are doing it already. So that's what the NAMA facility has been doing for the last 10 years. We have a fantastic portfolio of projects by now. It has taken some time. We, of course, need also some time to prepare the projects, send them into implementation, and have them achieving traction. But I think now we are really at a moment in time that the portfolio is where we want to see it, with projects that are achieving a lot of impacts already. The portfolio as a whole consists of funding availed of some 668 million euros, and by now we have already achieved leverage of 2.6 billion euros, which I believe is quite impressive and is of course not the end, as further projects are still coming to implementation. Also, alone in the last year, 6.6 million tons of GHG emissions have been secured in terms of reductions by our projects. So we are quite happy with the way the portfolio has been developing, and yeah, the drive for private investment for climate-friendly technologies is what we are aiming for, and I think we've been achieving a lot already in terms of those impacts. As you would expect from any of our site visits that we've run in the last years, we will today be gathering O-tones from our donors and from partner governments. We have a couple of exciting announcements, so there will be less than usually the occasion to actually ask questions. So I'd like you to bear with us and listen into all the exciting things that we will listen to. On the agenda for today, we basically have 3 things that we want to cover. First of all, we will listen into a perspective from Kate on the NAMA facility, on the context of the COP27, And there will be an announcement related to one of our projects selected for implementation as part of the 7th call. Secondly, we will have more announcements on projects that actually have been selected under the second round of the Ambition Initiative call. And finally, we will have statements of our funding donors, both from the German and the British side, on the future direction of the NAMA facility. All that together, we don't have more than 45 minutes, so I would suggest we go straight into it. Please cross the floor. Room is still filling up, thank you. Yeah, with that, I'd like to give the word to Kate for her intervention on the NAMA facility and the perspective of COP27 and this project-related announcement. Kate, the floor is yours.
Well, thank you, Soren, and well, thank you all for coming, because this is such an important facility for us. And I do remember years ago as this was first being established, and the hopes about this being a means of supporting countries to really raise ambition and to go further than business as usual. And we all know how important that is, because we all know we need to do more, and we all know we need to raise ambition. And we still need to raise ambition, and we need to do more than is in our current plan. So that was the original idea of the NAMA facility, to help countries do new things and to do things that otherwise could not be part of their plans, and then what became part of NDCs as well. So it's really exciting to see how far this has come and how many countries are involved and how many projects have been worked through, and we'll hear more about that today, and what that's fed through into raising ambition as well. And we all know how urgent we need to act and how much we need to come together and support each other, and that finance is a really critical part of this endeavour as well. So it's really good to be here, and really pleased that this is kind of a German-UK partnership, and here in the UK pavilion as well. So just a quick sort of announcement and reflection from me as well. So particularly as sort of the UK passes on the COP baton to our colleagues and friends in Egypt as well, I'm particularly excited to congratulate them on the approval of the €10 million Egypt solar PV project, which is really exciting. So a huge thank you to them. This project was part of the 7th call. That's how many we've done. We're on 9 now, but yes, it was part of the 7th call, and approved to move into implementation phase 1 just last month. So coming through, having that early support and getting into this phase. So it's a 5-year project developed in partnership with the Egyptian Ministry of Electricity and Renewable Energy, and it's going to directly contribute to Egypt's NDC ambitions. So just as I said, this is feeding through into countries being able to then deliver on the ambition in those NDCs. And the project aims to drive transformation and unlock investments in market-driven, wide-scale deployment of on-grid solar PV in the industrial, small and medium enterprise, so SME sector, through the installation of a huge 125 megawatts of solar PV capacity. And this, in turn, as we know, will increase competitiveness of industrial SMEs, local manufacturing promotion, and of course, green job creation in Egypt as well. It's going to, we hope, result in 1.5 million tonnes of CO2 equivalent avoided over the technology lifetime. And in line with the Breakthrough Agenda recommendations, which we were launching earlier on today, the Egypt Solar PV project is a real concrete, real-life example of how international climate finance can support industry transition towards net zero as well. So thank you, and again, a huge congratulations and thank you to Egypt for your ambition and for bringing this project through. Thank you. And I'm now going to pass over to Shirish.
No, actually back to me.
Oh, back to, sorry.
And I would also like to congratulate the Egyptian colleagues and invite Rami Musa to the stage. He is a director with the Egyptian Ministry of Electricity and Energy, and I'd like him also to share his perspective on the project and on the selection for funding, please.
First of all, I I would like to welcome you all here in Sharm el-Sheikh and hope to see you again in next COPs or in Sharm el-Sheikh as well. Secondly, I would like to thank the government of UK, Germany and the rest of donors for their contribution. And as well, I would like to thank Egyptian-German joint project for their contribution support that won't happen without the support of the national governments like Ministry of Environment, Ministry of Electricity, and as well ECOFI. We are excited and happy about the NAMA approval, NAMA support program approval by the board. And while Egypt is undertaking mega projects and willing mega project on renewable energy scale, this NAMA support program is important for us to scale up the small scale PV versus subsectors. I do believe that to feel the economic impact and to lead the economy, you have to feed up and deal with SMEs. They are the main driver for the economy. The NAMA support program focuses on industrial SMEs to promote cleaner production, but also green competitiveness for assessing new markets and reduced production costs. And from my point of view, as I mentioned, to drive the economy and feel its impact and change the culture, you have to involve the SMEs. We are especially excited about the willingness of our two partners, national banks. They are contributing, who will finance and contribute the program from their own resources. And as per second NDC, Egypt places the electricity sector at the center of its mitigation ambition, aiming to cut emission for electricity generation by 66% in 2030 compared to 2015 levels. We are committed as the lead ministry to support and upscale this project, this NAMA support program, to support achieving our NDC, to support our NDC targets, and we are waiting for your support for more. Thank you all.
Thanks very much for these kind words, Rami, and we wish you all the best for the implementation of this project. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Great. With that, we get to further announcements, the second point of our agenda, basically. And for that, I would like to hand over to Shirish, please.
Thank you. Thank you, Soren. As you mentioned, SIF is one of the newest members of the NAMA facility, and we are extremely delighted to be part of it because we see some very ambitious mitigation action projects that are getting identified and are getting actually moving towards the implementation stage. Last year at COP26, the NAMA facility had launched the second call of the Ambition Initiative with a commitment of 100 million euro projects for ambitious mitigation projects that will also be combined with green recovery. And that's the objective of the Ambition Initiative. We had also announced 4 projects that were under the first phase at the COP26. Sorry. So can you give me a minute? Something went wrong. So the NAMA facility received 40 NAMA support project outlines, or in short NSP outlines in phase 2. All NSP outlines were assessed through a detailed review, and long-listed NSPs went through an in-depth assessment. The in-depth assessment involved a rigorous fact-finding mission conducted by the technical support unit of the NAMA facility, which is led by Soren and his team, and also by a group of external experts. It also included interviews with multiple stakeholders that will be engaged again throughout the process of the project development. The majority of NSP outlines came from Latin America and Caribbean region, followed by Africa and Asia. In terms of sector, the most projects targeted renewable energy as well as energy efficiency. The NAMA Facility Board reviewed recommended projects and collectively agreed on projects that demonstrated climate ambition. On behalf of NAMA Facility Board, it's my pleasure to announce 4 selected projects that stretch across continents and cover a diversity of sectors. They bring together the number of projects ever funded by NAMA Facility to 47. The selected NSPs are from Mongolia, project titled Shift, which is scaling up clean heating investments to facilitate energy transformation. This will focus on clean, solar-powered district heating plants in buildings and develop policies and implementation plan for scaling up clean heating technologies in the country. The second project from Namibia is a 40 megawatt grid-connected biomass power plant, which is target energy production from bush biomass, preventing land degradation, leading to balanced rangeland ecosystem through sustainable removal of bush encroached landscape. The third project is the Nepal Sustainable Forestry Management and Bioenergy Project, which aims at reforestation and production and consumption of biomass pellets from forest floor residues and invasive species to substitute coal as an energy source. And the fourth project is the Paraguay Public Transport Project, which focuses on bus fleet replacement with 1,000 electric buses in Anxion metropolitan region. I want to congratulate on the behalf of board to all the 4 projects for being identified as the next phase of the ambition phase. The expected cumulative effect in terms of GHG emission reduction from these 4 selected NSPs is almost 30 million tons of CO2 equivalent beyond year 2035. We are joined today by the representatives of the NSPs from Mongolia, Nepal, and Namibia, and we are grateful for their time to make themselves available for this event. They will provide us with a greater insight into the selected projects and the reasons for seeking support from NAMA Facility. Thank you. Congratulations once again, and Soren, over to you.
Yeah, thanks very much, Shirish, for these announcements. And I think what we were planning is to ask the representatives of 3 countries to come one by one to this remaining hot seat and share their perspective on the project selected and also on their relevance in their respective country context in terms of contributing to the achievement of their NDCs. And I think would like to start with Mongolia. So I'd like to invite Ms. Narangravu Antangarel to the floor. She's a climate change officer in the climate change department of the Ministry of Environment and Tourism and Environment in Mongolia.
Thank you very much. So good afternoon all. It is my great pleasure to be the part of this event held by NAMA Facility, and I also want to extend the sincere appreciation from the government of Mongolia for the approval of the NAMA Facility project. So I would like to express our gratitude for the NAMA Facility for implementation of our NDC. So Mongolia increased our ambition to reduce GHG emissions from 14% to 22.7% by the year of 2030. So, and NAMA Facility's support to our energy sector makes a vital contribution to these efforts. And earlier of this year, our project on residential retrofitting was approved by the board for implementation, and we are very excited about the recently approved clean heating project under the Ambition Initiative Round 2. So currently, more than 50% of Mongolian greenhouse gas emissions are from the energy sector, and with long and cold winters in many places in Mongolia require 8 months of heating system. And historically, we have relied on coal for the energy source, and over 90% of our heat is supplied by coal. So, but Mongolia is also reaching it in its renewable energy resources. So countries in Europe and Inner Mongolia had a lot of experience in clean heating and clean district heating systems, but the technology never has been tested in Mongolia. So, but we think it holds a lot of potential to help us transition away from the coal toward clean and renewable energy in Mongolia. So, but we have actually successfully piloted the off-grid clean heating solutions like ground source heat pumps. With this new clean heating project, we propose to work at the district heating scale in the future. So proving that renewable energy can provide a reliable source for Mongolia and absolutely essential to shifting our energy sector from coal to renewable energy. The support from NAMA facility will allow us to demonstrate solar district heating system and put in place incentives and financing to scale up the clean heating projects in Mongolia. And we think this risk has the potential to pay huge dividends not only for the climate but also for the health and well-being of Mongolian population in the future. So thank you very much for approving this project for Mongolia, and I really believe that our government and the implementing international organization will successfully implement this project within its period. Thank you.
Excellent. Thanks very much for coming and for this intervention. What I find particularly interesting about this project is that in Mongolia we already have one other project in the same sector in implementation. So it will be quite interesting to see how these two projects can work together and create synergies. So we're very much looking forward to that. Thanks again for coming. Super. Second in line would be Namibia, and I'd like to ask Mr. Johnson Ndokosho to the stage. He's a director of forestry in the Ministry of Environment, Forestry and Tourism in Namibia.
Thank you very much, Soren. And certainly Namibia is honored to be part of this very important ambition initiative, in that this project is the first of its kind in Namibia, and there's a great anticipation locally for this project, and many stakeholders are set to benefit from this project should it be approved. The project is seen as a Namibian solution to a Namibian problem, and we're happy with the support received so far from the French Development Agency and the NAMA facility in collaboration with the Namibia Power Utility, NamPower. So the project is focusing on two main areas, basically both tackling mitigation as well as adaptation. It aims to generate locally produced electricity to reduce the reliance of imported electricity from the neighboring South Africa, which is mainly coal-based, and energy production from the encroacher bush is lower in terms of carbon emissions. The second focus of the project is it's aimed to assist farmers to achieve a balance in terms of removing and controlling invader bush, and also increase the productivity of the land, increase the agricultural productivity, and we believe certainly this will go a long way in ensuring that the local economy is supported. In terms of our ambition as a country, We feel that the country has been inspired to apply for this ambitious initiative for a number of reasons. One is that although we have sufficient abundant solar and wind resources, there is still energy deficit, which results in Namibia importing 60% of its energy, as I earlier alluded to. And certainly, through this facility, we'll be able to close that gap. The global market had been very volatile with regards to the exchange rates and commodity prices, and as such, there were doubts about the affordability of this project. So the NAMA facility helps Namibia address the additionally required resources to ensure the tariff remains affordable to the public. The biomass fuel supply industry in Namibia has also made some great stride over the last 10 years or so. And there was a need to mobilize grant funding to maximize social benefits of the projects for emerging harvesting contractors and small and medium enterprises. So this maximization of the benefits of this project aligns very well with both Namibia's national policies and the French Development Agency's financing objectives. So the missions and the vision of the NAMA facility are also well aligned to those of this project, and the volume of funding available made it perfect fit for Namibia. So we certainly see that this project is going to target the national decarbonization goals in terms of key sectors being targeted for this project being energy and the AFALU sector. The energy sector will have one of the largest roles of our national decarbonization goals, as it is a backbone of all future industrial projects which are required to drive our economy. Ensuring the electricity is coming from the renewable resources will be key reaching our decarbonization goals. So this is Namibia's reflection on this issue. Thank you very much.
Thanks very much. Thanks very much for this intervention, Johnson. And we also have a representative from NamPower in the room. So I think the interesting fact about this particular project is that it is a fast-track project that intends to hand in the NSP proposal in a few months only. So we're looking forward to that and wish you good luck in putting all this information together. Last but not least, we would like to take a look to Nepal, and I'd like to invite Dr. Budi Zagrapudel to the stage. He is the Joint Secretary and Climate Change Focal Point in the Ministry of Forest and Environment in Nepal.
So thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to share a few of my views. So Nepal has actually prepared and submitted nationally determined contribution and long-term strategy for net zero emission. Nepal has announced a very ambitious target to be carbon neutral by 2045. So government of Nepal is committed to transform our sectors to demonstrate how innovations in major sectors, the carbon intensive sectors, can mitigate CO2 GHG emissions while harnessing the opportunities for both mitigation and adaptation co-benefits. The support from international community to achieve nationally appropriate mitigation action, which is in line with our NDC and long-term strategy, is important. And this will help our efforts to achieve carbon neutral by 2045. So I would like to take this opportunity to mention that Nepal has received support from NAMA facility to implement a priority project in our transport sector. And because this transport sector is one of the prioritized sectors in our nationally determined contribution, and we have a very ambitious target that will have 20% of the total public transport will be electrified by 2030. So NAMA supported this electric transportation project. The first project is an important initiative to promote electric transport systems, and Now, I'm happy to mention that, and I would like to especially thank NAMA facility for selecting second project, which is on sustainable forest management and bioenergy, to prepare full project proposal. So I believe that this new project will help our sector to decarbonize, and I believe that the ambition initiatives is very timely, relevant, and then it will significantly help to the implementation of our ambitious and NDC and low carbon socio-economic development. So I again thank you very much for selecting our projects. Thank you all.
Great. Thanks also to Dr. Budi for joining us here. And once again, all the best of luck for all those 3 projects we've been listening into here for the detailed preparation phase, and for the Egyptian project equally for their entry into implementation. With that, we would like to turn to the long-awaited announcement on the future direction of the Namibia facility. And we also have a new arrival. I'd like to invite you to come to the stage and take the last remaining hot chair. Mr. Stefan Wenzel. He is the Parliamentary State Secretary in the Federal Ministry for Economic Affairs and Climate Action. Welcome. And I think we can give you the word straight away.
Yeah, thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, dear panelists, colleagues, it's a pleasure for me to come to this date, and I would say the iterative updating and enhancing of climate targets and ambition requires from all of us equally institutionalized and renewed focus on accelerating the implementation of mitigation action. Only by speeding and scaling up in the implementation of our national NDCs, 1.5 degrees will stay in reach, and the necessary decarbonisation for net zero trajectories. In this effort, the NAMA facility has been a key vehicle in the global climate finance landscape. Since its launch, it was just 10 years ago, it was in 2012, the NAMA family has become a unique climate finance instrument and a mitigation tool, offering technical and financial assistance for our partner countries. We are looking back at a decade with a track record of annual calls for proposals, more than 40 large-scale projects supported, and it's about 686 million euros for funding approved. Along with that, we have shared many lessons. We have many lessons learned and best practices for national sectoral decarbonisation. I'm convinced best practice, that is one of the key to find good solutions, to work together, to help each other. And so it's a very strong commitment. While climate policies and targets have constantly advanced in the past 10 years, the NAMA facility has significantly evolved too. Today, I'm most delighted to announce that the family facility will evolve further and will receive a new name, the Mitigation Action Facility. That would be the name, the new name for this NAMA facility. And the name reflects the high relevance of our program for the implementation of ambitious mitigation measures in line with the Paris Agreement, deriving from NAMAs or increasingly from NDCs to LDCs. The Mitigation Action Facility will continue to pass paved by the Pharma facility and launch annual calls for proposals. A new call is planned for next year with a funding volume of around 100 million euros. While a lot will remain unchanged, and we will build on the experience and strengths we made in the past decade, the Mitigation Action Facility will also introduce some new features. We aim to lower barriers for applicants, so we are better able to identify innovative and promising ideas and mobilizing new implementers. Further, we will provide early on support for the development of ambitious and feasible project ideas. Lastly, I would like to highlight a very important point on the structure of the Mitigation Action Facility. The facility will remain a multi-donor initiative. As such, it is a continued commitment to multilateralism. That's an important point too, since we are convinced multilateral cooperation making the difference in climate action. There are a lot of problems of the world we can't solve alone. One is to keep peace on Earth, another is to fight against pandemics, and another one is to fight climate to save our climate and our planet. We can only do that all together. One country alone can't that do. Therefore, I would like to highlight that of course all interested partners are encouraged to join the facility and share our vision for transformational change for greenhouse gas neutrality. Thank you very much. With our no name, I'm very sure that we will see very strong projects and very creative projects in future times. Thank you very much for coming here to this event.
Well, thank you very much. And just to follow up on those really important points and how exciting to be here at the launch, the relaunch of the NAMA facility into its new form as well. And along with other donors, the UK is really pleased to continue our support of the newly named Mitigation Action Facility as well. And as just mentioned, the 2023 funding round of the Mitigation Action Facility, I'm going to say it lots so you get used to hearing the new name, will be focused on driving decarbonisation. So the call will be focused on transformational climate mitigation projects in the priority sectors of energy, industry and transport. And that's because we know that's where the emissions are and we need to take action. And in the Breakthrough Agenda report from the IEA, IRENA and the High-Level Action Champions, which was launched during UNGA in New York and Pittsburgh earlier in September, we know that those sectors, those three sectors, account for 67% of global emissions. So this prioritisation within the NAMA facility will ensure that the funding just mentioned is targeted towards leveraging financial investment and support where it is most needed, so we can really accelerate that global transition. And the Mitigation Action Facility, let me say it again and get it right. The Mitigation Action Facility will provide technical assistance and climate finance to support projects that are country-driven and aligned to NDC commitments. And we aim to support those initiatives and projects that align with the Breakthrough Agenda's goal to make sure that by 2030 we improve the affordability, accessibility and attractiveness of clean technology and sustainability. As well as providing funding, the Mitigation Action Facility, I did say I was going to try and say it a lot and I will try and keep on getting it right, is a valuable knowledge and learning hub. Case studies like the ones we've just heard today as well, and lessons from the over 40 projects funded to date will be drawn upon so that we can actually learn and improve and support other initiatives and ensure that the funding that we are giving has wider and better impact on directly funded beneficiaries as well. So thank you very much again, and we're very excited to be part of the Mitigation Action Facility. Thank you, Soren.
Thanks very much, Kate and Stefan, for your interventions. Of course, we are delighted to hear this from the Technical Support Unit. We still brought our previous banner of the Mitigation Action Facility. I will also still try to learn that a bit. I think we will not be shortening it. MAF doesn't sound so good, so it will remain Mitigation Action Facility when we pronounce it. So we are very much looking forward to further working on it. I think the name choice is deliberate in the sense that it remains close to the previous name. So we will see a lot of continuity in the way we will be selecting and implementing projects, but there will be changes. And most notably, as Kate said, there will be key sectors. So the focus in future call will be and more focused than in previous ones. And then there will also be changes to the way we will actually be running with the call for projects. I think the most noteworthy change will be that we will have an additional pre-outline stage where, based on a very short questionnaire that can be filled out by applicants on a web-based basis, projects can be handed in, and only in the second stage a pre-selected number of applications will be allowed and invited to hand in a full set of outline with all the annexures that applicants would know by now. It's a reaction to a lot of frustration, of course, that have arisen in previous calls, where establishing a complete outline with all annexures, of course, requires a lot of capacity. So with this additional pre-outline stage, we hope to limit the additional hurdle for applicants to hand in. And what will remain also is that the call will be open to both public and private entities. And as has been mentioned before, one of our key strategic goals for the future would be to enlarge the circle of entities that are actually applying for funding and implementing NSPs. We will be sharing a lot of more information, of course, on the way this new call of the Mitigation Action Facility will be out shortly. You can follow it on our website. There's a dedicated page. I think we have the link here. If we could go to the third slide, there will be some details there. And of course, also on our social media accounts and in our newsletters, we will be covering more details of what's going to happen. We are excited that the funding volume for this new call will be equally to previous large ones. We believe it is a lot of money that has been availed, and we are looking forward for a higher number of outlines to be received and to actually select from. We expect this new call to be actually launched in March of next year, and then this first stage for pre-outlines to be handed in will probably be open for 2 months. Great. I think that's all we wanted to cover. With a look to the watch, I think we'll be thrown out shortly. Thanks so much to Julia and Kate for the technical support that it actually worked out. Thanks very much to all the donor representatives that were talking. Thanks very much for government representatives that joined us. Thanks everybody here who came in person to our side event. Thanks very much to all the followers virtually. We wish you all a great day from Sharm el-Sheikh, and please follow up on our new call for the Mitigation Action Facility. Thank you.